Welcome into Nevada Prep's preview. I'm Elaine Wilson, he's Justin Emerson, and Ben Goetz is somewhere in the continental U.S. right now. We're not sure. We're here to preview week 9 of the high school football season, not that far away from playoffs, and the games are really starting to matter here, Justin.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we are in the nitty-gritty, the thick of things, the eye of the hurricane, all the cliches, we're in them. But we are 3 weeks from our first postseason game.
3 weeks. That's insane, actually. And what are you looking forward to this week specifically?
Well, I think it's just going to be kind of clearing up the playoff picture. I mean, we're going to have a pretty good idea by the time you and Ben go live on Facebook Friday night as to who's in, who's out, what the seating's looking like. There's an important game in every 4A league. So I'm basically that meme of the Jets player yelling, "Can't wait!"
I love it, and thank you for the plug for the Facebook Live show. Let's get to the games. Durango will face Desert Oasis at 7 p.m. on Friday. Durango is 3-0 in the Southwest League. Desert Oasis is 4-2 overall, but 0-2 in league play. This is an important game for Desert Oasis in order to get into the playoffs, but Durango can't really afford to lose any games either because they're going to be facing Bishop Gorman and Sierra Vista in the next 2 weeks.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, Desert Oasis is trying to sneak into a playoff spot in a very competitive Southwest League. And with Durango and Sierra Vista both 3-0 in that league and Gorman, well, existing,
right.
The Diamondbacks could use a big win here to boost their chances in a fight for the other playoff spot. Durango, on the other hand, is looking to host a playoff game, and a loss to Desert Oasis before a showdown with the big boys in back-to-back weeks won't do them any favors in trying to claim one of those top 2 spots. Look for the battle of Durango lineman Jaden Nersinger, who's just had a terrific year, and Desert Oasis running back Christian Vaughn.
Now, a game that was super important early on to a game that we didn't really have circled on our calendars all year, but they have both made statements, Foothill and Coronado. And our Nevada Preps Team of the Week honoree Coronado, they made a statement last week with that upset at Green Valley, showing that they could be real contenders in the playoffs this season. Foothill, on the other hand, is the last undefeated 4A or 3A team. But can they keep that going against a hot Coronado squad?
Last week I would have told you almost certainly not. But now Coronado went into Green Valley and won, so I suppose anything's possible. Look, Foothill has Liberty next week, and that's a game the Falcons will feel like they might be able to win this year. But they simply cannot afford to slip up against Coronado. And any hopes of a Southeast League title rest on Foothill taking care of business against Coronado. The Cougars, meanwhile, are within striking distance of a playoff spot after their stunning win last week, and a win against Foothill would really put them in pole position. Coronado has already pulled off perhaps the upset of the year, so it'll be fun to see if they can do it again.
All right, we also have Desert Pines at Legacy, 7 p.m. Friday. Legacy is 2-0 in league play and controlling their own destiny for the Northeast League title. It's really the non-league performances that haven't been so great for the Longhorns this season, but the team has really come into their own in the last few weeks. And the Jaguars, they rolled over Mojave last week. We might be seeing the Desert Pines revenge tour after those forfeited games that they had to do against Liberty, a forfeit against Canyon Springs, most importantly, and as they should be on this tear.
Yeah, I mean, this is another big-time game for playoff seeding. Canyon Springs has owned the Northeast League for a few years, but Legacy and DP haven't been in the league the last few years. Desert Pines looked last week like the monsters we kind of expected, but after that forfeit a couple of weeks ago, they can no longer win the Northeast League unless Canyon Springs loses at least once. And Desert Pines certainly can't win if they lose to Legacy on Friday. Longhorns receiver Aaron Holloway has been a problem for opposing defenses and kicking units with his big play ability, returning kicks and catching passes, but Desert Pines expects to get back quarterback Tyler Williamson and running back Cameron Wiley this week. And consider, they scored 60 points without those guys.
Right.
So, as one of our colleagues in the office likes to say, this is going to be a war.
I love it. Centennial at Palo Verde is next. That's 7 p.m. Friday. The path to the playoffs for both of these teams is pretty clear. Barring any big slip-ups or upsets, both squads will be playing in November, but seeding here is what's most important. Palo Verde hasn't lost in league play yet and has games coming up against Arborview and Faith Lutheran, which will be tough matchups. This year has been the return to form for the Bulldogs. So, Justin, what does Centennial need to do to hand the Panthers their first league loss?
Stop the run. It's plain and simple. I mean, the originators of the double wing, Palo Verde, have averaged 341 rushing yards per game, and 4 dudes have over 200 yards rushing, and 3 of their backs have more rushing yards than their quarterback has passing yards. So it's never a secret what Palo Verde is trying to do, and this year they've been more successful at it than they have in years past. And it may come down to the guy in the middle of Centennial's defense, linebacker Atoa Pili-Eskeets, who leads the team in both tackles and sacks this year.
Very interesting. That double week offense is just all over the valley now, and Palo really kind of was at the forefront.
They started it, they won a league title with it, a state title, and then it just kind of originated. Arborview's kind of now the ones who do it a lot, but Palo Verde's still rocking with it.
Absolutely. Then we go to Green Valley at Liberty, a Henderson matchup here. Green Valley did not have a good performance against Coronado, and maybe that's that big new video board just distracting everybody.
Almost certainly. I'm willing to blame the video board for all of the world's problems.
Absolutely. But regardless, Green Valley could be on the outside looking in for a playoff spot. If Green Valley could beat Liberty, all of that doubt could be erased, and those Gators probably have a chip on their shoulder with their only losses last season coming at the hands of the Patriots.
Yeah, you're right. They went 10-2 last year. They lost to Liberty twice, but you're definitely right. To make the playoffs in a tough Southeast League, the good teams have to beat the lesser ones, and a slip up against Coronado could come back to really hurt Green Valley. And Liberty may have an ugly 1-4 record, but man, if I don't think they're dead just yet. They were beating up on Desert Pines before that game was eventually ruled a forfeit. And here we are now, the third week of October, and that was their only in-state game. So we really don't have a gauge of how good they are against the in-state teams. We do know, though, that Zyrus Fiaseo has been a revelation at running back. The defense has been superb, and I think we see Liberty get right back on track on Friday night.
I completely agree. So make sure that you follow along on NevadaPreps.com and at NevadaPreps on Twitter. And make sure you come to our Facebook Live Friday night at midnight. Ben Goetz is expected to be back by then. We sure hope so. He'll find his way back. But we'll break down all of the week's action and highlights. Until then, you can go to NevadaPreps.com for everything for Southern Nevada high school football. For Justin Emerson, I'm Elaine Wilson, and we'll see you Friday night.
Miss you, Ben.
Seriously?